Alright, so here we go. I'm just going to rough this in, and actually I'll use the other side. And all I'm trying to do now is just get a rough idea of how big it is. Give myself something to hold on to. So yeah, just give it a rough idea. And I can put that back up on the bus now. And pretty much what I'm going to do is grab my rusty, trusty lump of steel. I'll do that for a bit, get some dents in it, and then I'll come back. Alright, so you can probably see that. And so I've just got a bit of a dome there. I'm looking at this and it doesn't seem like there's much there, so what I'm saying is there's not a lot of dome this way. Well, this way it's probably only drawn back probably half an inch across the whole surface, so that's pretty much all I'm going to do. And then I'll just work on my little wheel set up here and sort of work in a fashion like that with one of these high crown wheels that I've got. So that'll even out all the lumps and give me a little bit of a dome, and I'll bring it back. Okay, so I've cut forward a little bit. So what I did is this, I used this one, very high crown, and basically took the chatter out with all of the lumps that were in it. So it sort of flattens it and it creates a bit of a dome. So then I go on to the next one, which is a number 2 wheel. It's less of a dome, and that sort of flattens it out even further. And then you start to see all of your imperfections. You can see those ripples there. Now remember, this is oversized, so a lot of this will get cut away, but I'm really focusing on the center right now. And what I do is I come out and then back in past the center, then out and then back in past it, then out and back in past it, then out. And what effectively that does is wheels twice as many times here as it does here. So I'm not really trying to stretch this at all, because what I've done is by hammering it before and bringing it up, I've stretched it. So now while I'm double wheeling here, I'm stretching it even further, but just basically flattening this off very roughly at the moment. So you can see that there is a dome in it, and it looks a little bit like a shield, but it's still very rough. I don't really want much more dome than that, because that bus really doesn't have a lot of dome in it, but there still has to be dome, I believe. I'm not too sure how the emblems looked to begin with, but I'm just sort of making something that will fit my bus. It's probably not going to be exact, but it's my emblem. So anyway, I'll just continue with this wheel and level it out a bit more, and then work my way up the numbers until I get to this one, which is got rounded corners, so it won't leave any track marks. I mean, remember that this is going to end up being rusty and painted anyway, so concerning myself with making sure that it's perfectly flat. It's not really what I'm concerned about. So getting the dome and then working all of the ripples out is really what I'm doing now. So anyway, I'll bring you back. Alright, so you can see that there's a fair bit more dome to it now, and it's definitely higher in the centre. It's got a bit of a peak now. That's because it's sort of been wheeled twice as much as the outside, so it's getting flatter. It's still not flat, but continue on. Time to change out the wheel, so I'll show you what happens after I finish with the next wheel. Alright, so here we are after a fair bit of wheeling. I'm just going to wire brush it clean now, and backside as well, to give me a good surface to look at, and then draw on the template, and we'll go from there. Came out pretty good. I haven't got a very good wheeling English wheel, so I do what I can with what I've got. And anyway, bring you back. Alright, so I cut ahead a little bit. Basically just cleaned it, and then cut out the outside shape, drew in obviously the pattern, and then I've just filed down the edges, just so they don't cut me now. And I'm contemplating whether to run it through the bead roller and put a step here, or just cut it straight out and leave it as it is. I don't know. I'll probably just go inside and have a drink now and think about it. Cutting it out straight away would be a lot easier. Problem with the bead roller is you'll get a nice step, but it'll tend to want to warp the panel, and then I can't get the shrinker in there to pull something in if it's come up too high. I can't gather the metal and bring it back down again, just because of this. There'll be a piece here, so this would have been stamped out, so this process that I would like to do is probably not going to work, but I'll think about it for a little bit and come up with a plan. I might be able to just cut it out with an angle grinder or some shears, and then roll the edge over using the vise and a piece of steel sharpened like a chisel, and just roll the edge. So just roll that slightly, about 2 or 3 mils all the way around. So anyway, I'll just sit down and think about it for a bit. I don't want to ruin it at this point, so looks good. Fits on the car well. So yeah, there it is. Just like I bought one. Well, sorry to interrupt the video on the emblem on the bus, but I just thought I'd show you what's going on here. So this won't take long and I'll get straight back to it, but I'm just filming it because I sort of need to have it filmed. So this hive was one that I managed to capture a swarm in. So I've got a swarm in there, and they're building honey pots and they're building stuff. And now today, what's happened is another swarm has come in, and they're killing the ones that have moved in there. So you can see down here there's all these dead bees. So they're the original ones that have gone in there, set up shop. Now I've got a totally different swarm coming in, and they're marking up the top of it now. So it looks like, and they're all over the place too, these dead ones. So yeah, interesting. These are a Hocking's eye, so they're a little larger. The carbonara was smaller ones that were moved in there. So these are a more aggressive bee. I've got a couple of hives with them. They're very aggressive, that I can see anyway. They don't like being tampered with, but yeah, just thought I'd show that. So you can see them all just marking this. So they're putting their scent on there now, and they're taking ownership of this hive. They've probably killed every single bee that was in there. There was probably 1,000 bees in that yesterday. They'll be all dead now, and these ones have taken over. So if you go around here, yeah, so this is the entrance. You can see the entrance now. They're just killing all the bees that were inside there, and they're pulling them out one by one. And dropping down there. And that's all dead and fighting bees. And all those little bits, they're all wings. So they bite each other's wings off so they can't fly. Anyway, bring you back. I'll get back straight back onto the emblem. Alright, so what I've got here is I've just center punched all of these corners. You probably can't see it, but they're there. I just thought I'd show you a little trick I do for trying and drill weird shapes like this. I've got my block there. It's a big lump of wax. And what it does is it sticks whatever is on top of the wax to there when you're putting pressure on it. So I can get that in there any angle that I want, and it won't move because of the wax, and I can drill it out. So otherwise I have a real hard time making sure I get the right spot. So anyway, I'll bring you back. Alright, so what I've done is I've just used some pinstriping tape, and I've gone on the outside of the drill holes, and then I've put crosses where I know that I want to cut away, and I'm going to cut before the pinstripe and then file the rest, I would say. And it'll probably take me a couple of hours, but you got to do what you got to do. Bring you back. Alright, so after a bit of filing, it's not perfect right now, but it's looking pretty good. Some of these little corners aren't exactly as crisp as I'd probably want them, but they're not too bad, and I think looking at the vehicle from 6 feet away you wouldn't tell, so I'm not too sure what I'm going to go with just yet, but I'm liking it as it is. It's pretty roughly sanded. I think that's about 180 or something like that, so I could go a lot shinier. I could even bring it up to like chrome if I wanted to, and then just put some clear on it, but I think I'll continue with the aged look. Yeah, you can see some of these corners aren't the best. I'll probably spend a bit more time just tuning them up a little bit, just a tad here and there, not too much. I don't want to get, I can become very obsessed with this sort of stuff and spend days on it, so I just have to tell myself to move on. So it's looking pretty good. You know, it's a proper dome. It's probably more dome than a normal badge, but I'm okay with that. And it sort of sits a little proud of the vehicle, but once again I'm okay with that as well. So I like it. It'll be a little bit different than everyone else's, and I was going to run an edge, but I think I'm going to leave it flat. I quite like it like this. I don't know, I can always change my mind later on, but this is sort of where I'm at right now. And I was just going to put a file into the vise up like that and shave to a point, so just this edge here, and then if you imagine it's up underneath here in, then I could tap that edge around, really crisp line, a few millimeters in, all the way around every edge. That'd be probably 2 hours work or more. Do I want to do that? Probably not. So anyway, I'll just keep plugging away as it is, and I'm liking it. Anyway, bring it back. Alright, got the bolts welded in at the back, sanded at the front. It fits in pretty good. Yeah, I think it might be just a little skewed. I'm not sure. Let me know. My eyes are a bit funny after welding, so I think it looks pretty good though. Sit down here. Can't complain with that really. For $3 worth of steel. Not sure where I'm going to go now with it. I like it shiny, so what do? Do I polish it? Do I highly polish it? Do I bring it right up and then clear it? Or do I do what I said I was going to do? Put some paint on it, let it go rusty. I don't know, I'll leave it tonight, think about it. Leave a comment, tell me what you think, and I'll go forward tomorrow. I can just always just leave it up there for a couple of days. But that was a short one, short little project. I'm not sure what I'm going to head up now. Yeah, I don't know. I'll think about it. Anyway, I got another sign too. That way. Anyway, bring it back. Am I allowed grey primer? I like that. Might just leave it like that for the moment. That's a quick fix. I like that it sits out from the nose just a little bit. I might put a light behind there. Just in behind there. So when I'm driving at night it'll illuminate behind it. Yep, alright. Next. Don't forget to leave me a comment. See you next one.